Well, hello, everyone. I hope you are doing well. Happy Tuesday. It's very cold here. I don't know if you guys are as cold as I am, but it is a very cold. So I hope that you're staying warm, staying bundled up. The dogs here are all bundled up. If you saw in my post lately that they are like cuddling together, all the things. And let me just say that Hank is not a fan of cuddling, especially with Niecy, but this has been helpful for him. So he's very happy to have her and all the things. So um, anyway, I hope you guys are doing well. Definitely let me know that you can hear me, how things are going, all of that, because I would love to make sure that we're connecting okay and doing well. Okay, so tonight we are working on the heartfelt, like these heartfelt cards is basically what I would say. And it's using the peaceful gardens. So before we jump in, let's go ahead and pray and then we will get started. Heavenly Father, Lord, I just thank you for your love and your goodness, Lord. I thank you for your warmth that keeps us warm in its cold days and just that we can rest in your hands. Lord, I pray right now that you will be with us tonight. Help us to have a great time together, Lord. Help us to be able to just to create and put things behind us, Lord, that are in life right now, but just to be able to enjoy this time together, Lord. I pray that you will just bless our time, Lord. Help me to be clear and precise in what I say and what I do, and for it just to be a great time together. In your precious and holy name, amen. All right. Thank you again for joining me. I really do hope it is um, a good time for you guys tonight. What we're going to do is if you have your kit, go ahead and grab your kit. And we're going to actually create 6 cards. And I'm going to walk you through some of it. I'm not going to create all 6 cards with you, but I'm going to kind of give you the preview and the setup of how I did it. Okay. So you should have in your kit, you should have some base cards that are already scored for you. So definitely take a look at them. And make sure that yours are scored. So pay attention to the lines of those pieces that you need right there. I actually have some that are not scored, and that's what I just pulled out. So I'm going to grab some that are so that we can play along together well. And then you're going to have these already embossed for you folders. Now, typically that is not something that I would do for you is have those embossed. However, much of this set is already discontinued and gone. And so that was really sad to see that those were already gone. And so I had to do some of this work for you, but my desire is that you guys can take this technique, take this idea, and run with it, play with it, because I think they're just beautiful cards that are a lot of fun. I say fun, but they're very elegant. You can make this into a very fun card, and you can see how I have one that's going vertically and one that's going horizontally. So just have fun with it, however you decide to do it. But we're going to do some, I know right now a lot of people are going through just a lot of things. And so I thought that this might be good to have some in your arsenal of cards that have this great, sentiments and things. And I believe this stamp set is still available. So if this is a stamp set that you love, go for it and try and get it. It's Peace on Earth. If not, there's another stamp set that just came out, and I'm trying to remember what the name of it is. Prayers and Promises or something like that. But that one would be perfect for this as well. So just FYI on that one. Okay, so then you're also going to have a little kit that has, you'll see some doves in there and some all of these pieces. We're going to leave this in here just for a second. Before I forget, I want us to go ahead with our ribbon, and we're going to cut this into 14-inch lengths. So I want to make sure we have about the right amount before we even get started so that we don't use too much or too little. So go ahead and do that, and it will just make that process a little bit easier for us. So just lay it out on on your board if you have a board or a Versamat. Let me see if I can do this one here. Let me move my supplies. That way you can kind of see. And I don't even know that you can see it on here, but I'm just laying it out and I'm cutting it 14 inches. So, and we should have 6 of them by the time we're done. And you may even have a little extra. I try and put in just a little extra in case. Um, we go over or under or whatever. So let's see, there's 3. And yours should all be in one. I just had a ribbon spool that ran out. And so that one's a little bit more. And I'm going to leave it like that for now. Let me see about this. I think this one might be, oh, that's a little short, but we'll make it work. So you should have those pieces. Then the next thing you want to do is you're going to go ahead and let's cut up our card bases. So what I want you to do is to take your card bases, and I know I just said cut up, right? I normally pre-cut everything for you if I can, but this is something I really, again, wanted you to kind to see and to learn how to do it yourself. So you're going to need your paper trimmer. This way, again, I love to be able to teach cards that you can redo, make some of your own, make them work for you, whatever it is that you're trying to do. Okay, so your middle section is five. If you see, there's some scored lines here. This is going to be a 5 1/4 by 4 inches. So I'm just going to double check, make sure that that worked out well, and then you should have 2 inches and then 2.5 inches. So again, I'm just checking this to make sure. And I had the Cricut do this for me as well. So it may be off just a little bit. But what we're going to do on our one that's on our side that's a little bit bigger than the other side is we're going to cut this 5/8 of an inch away on both edges all the way to that score line. So let's go ahead and do that. We're going to do I'm going to put this in right at the score line. It brings me to about 2 3/4, which is a little bit bigger, but I'm okay with that. Again, when cutting it on the Cricut, it tends to do that a little bit. All right, so it's going to be 5/8, and I'm just going to be, that's just past um, the halfway mark, and then like 2 eyelashes from there, if you're not really sure. I love how we can always, talk about eyelashes that way. All right, and we're going to do it the same way from the top. So come down 5/8. And then all you're going to do is you're just going to then turn it to the side and you're just going to cut up until you get to that, um, to the score line. Okay. Just cut up till you get to the score line. I'm sorry you can't see this. As many times as I've tried, let me see if I can't turn this. Tried to change this. It just does not like me to change it so that you guys can see things better. All right, so I'm going to work backwards and hopefully not mess myself up, but it's better than you guys seeing my head, right? All right, so it is to about there. All right. And I'm looking at the wrong spot. There we go. And if you need to, you can take your scissors if you didn't make it all the way up or to the side and just kind of snip off a little bit more. But that's basically what you're looking for. So I just had just a little bit left. I didn't make it all the way up to the top. I'm just going to snip it off. You're going to do that on all of your cards. Okay. So again, we're just cutting out 5/8 on each side. So I'm just going to do a couple since this is, I want to teach you guys the technique and then you guys can run with it. You can kind of get an idea as you do it now, kind of what we're going for, right? So I'll try and do it up here so it's easier for you guys to see. I like to do it towards me, but I think that might be harder for you guys to see. Okay, so that's, got to put it in like this. I got to put it in the right way, right? We are cutting again towards our line on the wider side of the two. You've got your middle section, you've got a wide side and a little bit smaller side. We're looking for the side that's a little bit wider. We're putting this in and we're going to go to the 5/8 and then we're just going to make a cut using our paper trimmer. And then all the way up. And then do the same thing on this side. And I almost feel like to cut it when you're cutting it off like that, it's almost easier to do it with your scissors. So I like to just do it right up to my score line and then just take my scissors. 'Cause sometimes it's hard to see the score line through that, especially as I'm trying to do it online, and without you guys seeing the top of my head and all the gray that's there. So it's just easier to do it that way. Okay. So go ahead. Maybe I'll do one more, give you guys a chance. Now, on the lighter ones, for some reason, they got double scored. So what you're going to do, let me hold it out and I will tell you which one. It's going to be on that first score line from the end is the one that you're going to do. I'm not sure why, what happened there, but I wanted you guys just to kind of know that ahead of time. And you're not even going to be able to see that as you go to do this, as you go to like lay your paper and stuff down, it's going to come right to it. The DSP will come right to it, and so you're not going to miss it at all, and be able to have it stick out. All right, then just right up to the top. All right. All right. So once you have that done, we want to take out our DSP paper that is in that little packet that I sent you. And you have some taller sheets and some shorter sheets. So go ahead and grab those. Let's see. These are the pieces that we have. So you want to go ahead and grab those and then go ahead and lay them out so that you can see the different designs. And remember, there's two sides to each piece of paper. And I'm sorry, I'm trying to make sure that I can hear you guys or I can see if you guys put something in here because sometimes it doesn't quite show up. So I just wanted to make sure. Okay. So if you have your papers, go ahead and just lay them out. Okay. And again, remember there are two sides to each piece. So you may decide, you want to change things up a little bit or you kind of go from that. But what you basically want to do is you want to decide which pieces do you think look really good together. What are the ones that kind of stand out? And this might take you just a minute. I moved mine around several times. So you may decide to do the same thing. And again, so what I'm looking at is I want to make sure like I have the back side or the front side. This is the same, so I might want to use this side instead. Okay, so I'm kind of changing things up. So I don't know. I'm just kind of playing with it. I may decide to change my mind here in a little bit, but this is kind of what I'm doing for now. So let's see. Hmm. Trying to decide. I like that one there. That one and this one, I don't feel like those go together quite right. So what if I do this and this? That I think those would work. Let me see, what is the back? Okay, so that's that one. All right, and what about the back of that one? Okay. All right, so that's kind of what I'm liking so far. So take yours, decide if you kind of want to do that. Now, let me tell you why I kind of chose the ones I chose. So for this one, all the little white bits that are in that really pulls that out, right? It's going to help those little white things on a really kind of dark piece of paper for the white to pop out there. On this one, there's a little bit of brown in here, kind of the same thing as you can see on this one, but I felt like the doves were a little too bright to have the white here. You would totally just see the doves and not see anything else. So by having this, it actually pulls out the white and then the little white that's in here, or I'm sorry, it pulls out the brown and then the little white that's in here kind of helps with that. This one, I feel like those are just two tones that go well together. Same thing here, and you've got these little flowers back here, so it kind of makes your little sparkles kind of show. These two, again, you're having just the tone on tones, you're pulling out the same tone, so I think that that works really, really well together. And then, of course, here I see this one, and I'm seeing the birds, and I'm seeing like what's in their mouth and the berries and things. And so for me, that works out really well. So now the next thing you want to do is you want to take your cardstock and decide which colors of your bases do you want to put with each one? Which do you feel like works well together? Okay, and so just kind of set it down, decide because you're going to have two of each color. So kind of decide which ones do you want. So I think this one for here. And again, I may change this as I'm going through. I think this because these are too dark need to have a light blue that's gonna help pull it out. There's no, um, There's no browns, there's no beige in here, so I don't feel like that it would still work, and it may actually work depending on if I need the blue. But I feel like that would work just because this is almost like a neutral with that. But my first thought is here, okay? And then I've got this. So I'm thinking for this one, maybe that. Again, same thing, kind of just bringing in the lighter color of the paper because my cardstock's kind of dark. Now, because this one is so much white, I feel like blue is the only thing that's going to work for that. It's not going to, you don't really want to put beige with it because there's none of the beige in there, right? Although honestly, that doesn't look bad either. You could definitely do that, I think, and get away with it. Again, this is almost acting like a neutral, so it may be a good one to do that with. The brown, again, I feel like I'm going to do this. And then I've got this beige. So let me kind of play and see what I think. I'm really honestly liking this beige more and more the more I look at it. So let me kind of play with that. Yeah, actually, I think I like that. I think I like that better. So that I've got these darker ones with the blue. I've got these here with the blue and then these laid out. Okay. So now I'm just going to stack them. That way I have everything together exactly where I need. And then we can create. Okay. So there we go. I'm going to stack and leave one out, just like that. All right. And then you're going to want to get your bone folder and we're going to start just folding back all of our creases. And you can decide if, oh, I got something on that one. You can decide if you want the lighter color or the darker, if it's a two-tone cardstock, a lighter color or darker color to show. So for this one, I think, let's see. Actually, I'm not so sure. But I like that color with it. Let me play. Let's play a little. All right, so if I do, let me take them all out again. This is how I create, and this is how I want you guys to kind of create with this tonight. I mean, make it your own. Have fun with it. See what it is that you like. Let's see. That actually looks pretty good. And actually that I think looks pretty good. All right, I think I changed it on us. All right, so let's start there. And again, this is what you can do too as you're creating it. Feel free to change it up a couple times, however you like and whatever you want to do. Okay. So I think that's the one we decided to go with. So let me see if what color I want. Do I want the lighter or the darker? And I'm going to look at both of them by doing it this way. I actually think maybe the darker one works better on that. All right. So I'm just going to fold it again in so that you're seeing the darker on the outside. Okay. Now, in your kit, you also have, like we talked about, we have these pieces that are already embossed, just like this. These pieces are going to go and lay down right in the center. So let's go ahead and put that down real quick. That's the easiest part. So we just want to go ahead and put that in. There we go. Okay, then I'm just going to again fold it back a little bit just to make sure I've got what I want. All right, just like that. All right. Now what we're going to do is we're going to just put down this piece right here first. Okay. So let's put this piece here. And if you wanted the papers to be the same, you absolutely could. You don't have to have them all different. If I wanted to have this side and these two aren't the same, but if they were the same, I could do that and would make it all look cohesive and across the border, but this just kind of gives it a pop and really, again, helps showcase the beauty of the paper and also your design in the background. All right, so now we've got that. We want to take our ribbon and we're going to lay our ribbon out flat into the center of our card, just like that. And we're going to pull on it for a little bit because we want it, it's going to have to lay over the top and then come and match the one below it. So just about there. Okay, so once you find where that is and it's even, just like that, then you know, okay, now you've got it. So what I'm going to do is just kind of, I know that that's my space, my placing. Now I can open it back up and I'm just going to lower it down right below it. And I'm going to take my adhesive and I'm just going to go right along the edge all the way just a little bit further because I want it to lay on this side too, right here. So it's going to cover and stay on the back. You don't have to technically adhere it down on the back, but it's going to help hold it into place. So I do like that. And instead of it being floppy, because if you don't, then this side's going to come up. So that's going to help it kind of all stay together. And then we're just going to kind of pull this together all the side, and there you go. Okay. Then we're going to take our smaller piece. And as you can see, I'm either cut this too big or cut this too small, but you know what? That doesn't hurt me at all. I've got a paper trimmer. I can absolutely trim it down. I noticed that when I laid it out a minute ago. So I'm not sure which one it was, but I'm not going to worry about it. I'm just going to cut it down a little bit. So I can tell it's about 1/4 of an inch. Let's see if I did that right. Maybe just a little bit more. All right, just like that. Okay. Sometimes we overcut or undercut, so it's easy to fix it. We just can trim down one of them, right? All right, and then we're just going to place this right in here. There you go. Now you can decide if you want this card to be like we talked about. Let me bring in the originals. See how you can see this one's horizontal and this one's vertical. And I think most of the time when we look at cards, we naturally just think vertical. But I think this, it's beautiful. It could go either way. So just kind of decide what you think you want to do. Um, whichever side that you want. Now, I like to do all of my card bases before I'm going to do my sentiments, especially if I'm doing a lot of the same thing, is that way I can do all my stamping at one time. So go ahead and grab another card. I'll do one more with you, and we're going to do the exact same thing. We are just going to fold our paper and decide if we want the inside or the outside. And I think I like the lighter color, so I'm going to do lighter, although let me see, once I put it on there, I may change my mind, right? That's always a possibility. I still think I like lighter. Okay. Now, this is one because you see the birds flying that I kind of feel like does need to be vertical. Because if you put it sideways, like horizontal, you can, I mean, they're all going in a weird direction. So I do feel like this one does have to be vertical, but that's totally up to you. You can do it however you want to do it. All right. So just like that. And then again, we're going to put this one right here. But I can't put it down yet, right? Until I put my ribbon on. Let me put my centerpiece on. That's probably the hardest part to remember is that you can't do that until you put your ribbon on. Because we just get to gluing papers down. There you go, just like that. All right, another piece of ribbon. So see, this is why I had you cut all of that ribbon up first because I wanted to make sure that we had the sizing that we needed and we didn't use too much or too little. So that was the idea. All right, so just like that. Okay. That needs a little bit more, huh? I did not measure it quite right when I put it down. I did not make sure it would go all the way over, so that's okay. It's definitely going to, let's try it there. I'm not going to push down yet until I know for sure. That's going to be, I want to make sure I have enough to tie a knot at the end. So I should have paid a little bit better attention on that one. I think that's going to do it. Yeah, that's going to be better. All right. So again, just set that down. And then there we go. And this one fits perfectly. Praise God. All right. So there you go. So now I've got two cards, two card bases. And as you can see, they come together super, super quickly. Love, love, love that. Okay. So now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to lay out. You guys can finish your card bases, but I am going to put these to the side just for a minute. And I'm going to go ahead and get out all of our white pieces, these white pieces right here. I'm just going to lay them out and I'm going to do all of my stamping at one time. Okay. We'll do our decorative pieces later, but right now we're going to do all of our stamping at one time. And we are going to use the Secret Sea ink pad. This is probably one of my favorite colors. I know that's weird, but this is like a dark, dark, dark blue. So it's softer than a black, but it kind of has that neutral feel like the black would. All right, and then again, we're going to take out the peace on earth, or if you have the prayers and promises, that would be another good one to use. And so definitely there's different titles here that makes you kind of think of Christmas with peace, love, and joy and peace on earth. But there's also big hugs for a good friend with deep sympathy, all the best in your new adventure, sending love, wishing you peace, love, and joy. You can do those all. I mean, you can do really, truly however you want. Now, with a peace, love, and joy, that's this long one here in the middle. You can see that that would definitely have to go right in the middle. And these shapes too were cut from, this was a bundle pack and it's got the dies in it too. And I love it. That's where I've got our birds and all of our little twine or leaves, branches, I guess. So yeah, super, super versatile. Can use this for a lot of different things. But we're gonna just focus on right now getting our titles on here. So I'm gonna do um heartfelt prayers. I seem to be needing to do some heartfelt prayers for a lot of people lately. So always I like to just rub it on my hand. I know it's that time of year where our hands are so dry, but we do need to take off that piece there. If not, you can also take like a rub and remove eraser or something like that, or just stamp it off your first stamp on scratch paper, just to make sure that it's got the film off of it from when they made it. So I'm going to do a couple of them with heartfelt prayers. Actually, I'm going to do three because I know three people who really need them. Okay. Look at how beautiful that font is. I really love that font. The prayers, it's just clean and crisp. Honestly, I mean, to me, that almost looks like I printed it. But again, that's the color too. I just love this color, Secret Sea. It's one of the colors of the year this year for 2025, 26, and 27. So we come out with a color and it's really good for like 2 years and then they bring it out. But it's mid 25 and then to 27, I think, is when it's doing it. So this is going to be one in my stash, I think, forever. It reminds me of the Close to My Heart Harbor. It's very similar, except Harbor had just a tinge of green, a little bit more of green to it. Okay, and then I think I'm going to do hmm, Wishing You Love. Let's do that because I know people who are getting married as well. So I'm going to do Wishing You. Now, because I'm putting two stamp sets together, I am going to just grab a scratch piece of paper and make sure that I like the placement of it because I'm going to put them together here. And sometimes they're just too far apart or too close together or not straight or whatever. And so this is a good way to double check my stamping. So let me grab a scratch piece of paper. Here we go. And I'm just going to test that real quick. Wishing you. Let me make sure my paper's straight and that it was, yeah, I think that's pretty good. Do wish the love was maybe a little bit closer. So let me see if I pull this here. Another thing that you can do is, because you can see it's not going to go through on the backside, is I might actually stamp on the backside to see how it fits in that area. And then if I like it, then I can turn it over and do the front side. So let's do that. I might decide I want it to be more spaced out. Wishing you love. Yeah, I actually do think I like that. Okay. So see, I'm glad I did that. So now I just got to turn it over and do it again. So we're just going to turn it over, do it on the right side, and let it go. Let's do this one. And I'll do 3 and 3. Oh, I didn't like that one. That did not go so well. This is where using a little platform is, well, all right. Let's do the backside, and I bet I can put enough bling on it that you won't even know it. There we go. All right, that's better. The other thing to note when you're using these ink pads, they're so juicy, especially when they're new, is you just have to tap it. You don't have to press or any of that, or else you're going to make a big old mess on your ink pad and on your block. So definitely just tap, 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 and you're good to go. All right, so let me put these back before I forget. This is actually my second stamp set because I taught an in-person class with this one. And somehow I think they got thrown away because they're just so light. And so I ended up having to go get a second one. But that's okay because I loved it. So I was a little heartbroken that I had to get another one because I already had it, but I love it that much that I did. Okay, so let's bring in one of our cards. Let's bring in this one because we know we're going to do it vertically. So again, we're having this on the outside, and you can stamp or write, what you want to say on here, do whatever you want. This is your place for what you want to say. And if you need more, you could always put it on the sides, right? Or you could put like another design here if you wanted. If you had another stamp set and you wanted to put a real pretty design there, you could easily do that. But that does give you a place to write. And then what we're going to do is, in your kit as well, you have different multicolored backgrounds for this. So what I would say is you probably want to go with whatever the color of the base is. However, you can change it because you can see I did it differently here. So it maybe if you want to draw out a different color and not have it so much of the blue or so much of the brown, you could do that. So let's look and kind of see, with us having brown here, if there's a different thing I want to do. Here's the blue. And again, if I turn it over because I'm using the lighter side, you've got that or that. Let me put these all down so you guys can see a look of them. All right, so there, then I've got this one, or I've got this and this. I, hmm. What's interesting is I did not think I was going to like that side at all, but I actually kind of do. So, and I think it helps again with this and with that. So I think we're going to use that. And then I'm going to put the heartfelt prayers together on this one. Okay. Now, the other thing I want to do with this is I want to go ahead and you can put foam tape on the back of your large one, or you can actually put it in between the large and the small. However you want to do it, it's just going to give it a little bit more definition. I think I'm going to put mine between the large and the small. So grab your dimensionals, and you should have lots and lots because we're going to use lots and lots. So I've got mine here. Whoops, I said I'm going to put it on the other side. Here we go. Well, there we go. It just fell over. I just didn't see it. All right. All right. And I'm going to put one more in the middle. I'm not as bad as Karen, but I do like to use a lot. All right. So we're just peeling these off. There you go. All right. And then we're just going to center it on in here. And see how quickly these come together? I mean, truly, these come together so quickly. And if you have all your cards done, what you can do is literally as you're sitting here, just go ahead and say, okay, I'm gonna, for this card, what colors do I want to use? Let me look. Do I want to use, do I want to say wishing you love? Do I want to use the lighter side? Do I want to use a blue? Do I want to use the lighter side? You know what I'm saying? So go ahead and get it all figured out. That way you can do it all at once. And so we're just going to do that for now. Then what we're going to do is we're just going to have this here, and I want to put it on the line where the ribbon is if I'm doing it vertically. Because if I do up or down, it's just going to seem kind of, it's off center, right? Doesn't that look a little off center? So I kind of want to do it at the same placement of the ribbon. And so that's kind of why I was laying it out to see like where's the middle section of my card. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take my adhesive again, and I'm just going to glue it straight down to the paper while it's closed. And actually, one thing I should have told you, I'm sorry, is this is the nice thing about having the tape adhesive, is make sure when you have that lay over that the only place that has adhesive is on the ribbon, that the other two that's going to overhang does not overhang and have adhesive on the side or on the area that's going to have, what do you call it? It's gonna overhang, or else it will end up sticking to the other side. So in order for me to do that, one thing I can do is I can just take my little pencil, and I'm gonna turn this over so that I'm not even seeing the design, but I can see like where it's gonna fit. And I'm just gonna take a pencil and mark like, okay, I want to make sure that I don't have any adhesive above that line, right? And so then I'm just gonna roll this back just like that. All right. So now I'm just gonna lay this down like I had it, and it should be just fine. The only place I have adhesive is where I have my ribbon. See, none there, so I'm not gonna have to worry about it sticking to the paper. All right, so I've got that. And then I'm just going to go ahead and close it up now for how I want to do it. So you can just tie a very simple knot. You can do a bow, you can do whatever you want, but this is kind of why I wanted it just a little bit um, longer. And maybe even this is going to be too short, but I think it's just I've got fat fingers. So I'm just going to push this through. And I like to take tweezers to help me pull it through because sometimes it's just hard to grab it. So we're just going to put a knot. Let's see if I can do a knot. Well, I can because I have on many occasions, as you saw my other ones. I've already given several of these cards away and people have loved them. So I hope you guys are creating the cards and then using the cards. That's the biggest thing is we need to use our cards. This is why we make them, not just because they're pretty, but because we need to send love to other people. They need the encouragement. They need to know that they're being thought of and prayed for and whatever it is that you're writing to say. Well, I just totally destroyed that. Let me see if I can try it again. I hope you're having a slightly easier time than I am. I promise. I've done this many a times. But for whatever reason, you know how it is. I think I have this issue every time I'm online. Something does not want to work. And it's because we're online. It's just the nature of the game. Be careful because you might fray the ends like I just kind of started to. So that's why I went back to my finger and was able to grab it. Now, there we go. So now once you get that done, go ahead and take your scissors, and I honestly would have said to do this anyway, but take your scissors and just trim the ends so that if you do have any frame marks, it's done. And my other one's still in there and I'm not seeing it. So I'm just going to leave it for right now. But it just looks nice and crisp, don't you think? You're not getting any frays, anything like that. Okay, so then simply all we're going to do is you're just going to bling it up a little bit. So we've got these um, the birds, the doves, and you can decide if you want to have one that looks like it's flying, kind of matching those, or if you want to have one that's kind of flying up. And honestly, because these are coming this way, I like this where it's kind of coming, so it's drawing it together. So I'm going to do this. Now, the thing to think about is because we popped this one up, we want to lay this on top a little bit, but don't want to pop this one up in addition, or else it's going to be too thick and I'll probably end up having to pay more in shipping to get it there. And we don't want that, right? So I'm going to kind of look and see where it's at. Same thing, turn it over and just kind of make a mark as best as you can about where you think going below is okay to put your um your dimensionals, and then just kind of put some dimensionals, and you might need the smaller dimensionals, you might need the bigger, it's up to you. I'm going to cut this one in half and then put that on the belly because I really just feel like it needs to stick up. So as you can see, that means that only the head and this area, and this one might have actually gone up a little too far. Let me see if I can take that off still. I don't want to tear a wing. No tearing of wings. They're not super easy to remove. Let me put that other small side. There we go. That means that this part right here is the only part that's going to go on my paper. Okay. And another thing you can do too, if you feel like he gets lost, because as you can see, he kind of does get lost just a little bit, is you can take a blending brush or a sponge, something like that, and just really, really gently, let me see if I can do it. I'm gonna dab it in here and then put some off here because it comes out pretty wet. And I'm just gonna gently go around it. I just want to kind of give it that blue hue, just very gently. Can you see that? It's just a very, very gently. I'm not trying to overdo it, but that's going to make it pop up off the page just a little bit. And you're going to be able to see it a little bit more. So let me clean that off before I put paper in it. That's if you want to, it's totally up to you. Don't feel like you have to do it that way. Honestly, if you see here, I did not do it on these because as you see, we're going to end up putting branches in its mouth or an envelope. So it's totally up to you. I'm just giving you some other options and ideas. Okay, so I have that. And so I'm going to decide. I love these cute little envelopes. Look at these envelopes. Are they not adorable? Would those not be perfect for Valentine's Day or a birthday, something like that? I love them. They're so tiny and so cute. And the die actually cuts out two at the same time. So I do love that. I'll see if I can't pull that out for you here in a minute. Um, but now all you're going to do is decide, do you want to have a branch or do you want to have an envelope in its mouth? And then if so, what colors, right? And I did the branches. I think I did them all in the browns because I've never seen a blue branch. So I was really having a hard time saying, oh, I want to use a blue branch. So let's see. I think I'm going to do, let's see. Let's see if that color will match if I put this like there. And I'm just laying it out right now so you can kind of see it. Yeah, I think I like that. And I just kind of, because these branches are so tiny, you can put it like this below it when you're creating, but I really kind of like it on top. So I just lay this down first. And this is where you can use basically any of the adhesive that you have. I like liquid adhesive for this just because I can get into the smaller spaces. So I'm just going to grab this and put some here and here, just like that. I'm going to lay this down. And again, I can only go up so high because I'm making sure that my dimensionals are going to stop me. And so I need to take off my backing now. And I don't have to take backing off of all of them, but just enough to make sure it's going to stick. And I want to make sure too the wings don't go over the edge. So those are the things that you're kind of looking for. Okay. Then I'm just going to take this itty bitty little branch and I'm just going to put a little dab of glue on it, not a lot. And then I'm going to decide kind of how I want it to lay out on him. And so I am actually, because head looks like it's kind of coming up a little bit, I am going to kind of put it up underneath him like that. But you can do it on top of the head, you can do it below the head, you can do it however you want. Okay. So there's the branch, there's that. And then we just need to finish it with our flower or our little hues of blue flowers. Okay. And you can again choose any colors that you want on this. You've got, this is what I love too, because you've got the dark, the medium, the light, and then you've got white. And so you have a plethora of ones. And I like to kind of change them up. I don't like to use sometimes the same color all throughout. So let's see. I think I'm going to do a dark because that paper in the background is dark. I think I'm going to kind of do a dark. Let's see. Maybe up here. I don't know why, but this is probably the hardest part for me is deciding like what I want to use and where I want to put it. And then I'm going to do the medium and I'm going to just do it over here. And then I'm going to do a medium, but small, medium color, small. Let's do that up there. There you go. And there's your card. So they will all come together just like this. And I'm not going to bore you and take all of your time tonight, but I wanted to show you just how you're going to put them together. But laying them all out and setting up the colors at the beginning makes it go so much smoother and faster. So I hope you had fun. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you will recreate this idea with other cards and other papers because I just think it can go so far. It's so cute. It's really, I just think it's a beautiful card. So I would love to see what you create and how you create it. And even your cards are done, I would love for you guys to post those and show us as well. So happy scrapping. Have a great night and stay warm. All right. Good night, everybody.